Well, the front page of the Wall Street Journal today says, quote, as Trump faces legal woes, Democrats covet a rematch. I guess they mean Trump's the easiest guy for Biden to beat in 2024. So let's talk about that. Joining me now, we have Liz Peek, syndicated columnist and Fox News contributor, Mike Ozanian, assistant managing editor for Forbes Media, host of Forbes Sports Money on the Yes Network, and the third base coach of the New York Yankees. And Guy Benson, political editor, townhall.com, and host of the Guy Benson Show on Fox News Radio, and a Fox News contributor. Guy Benson, begin with you. So the Democrats are licking their chops because Alvin Bragg has come after Trump, and it's so unjust that Trump's polls have gone up with a 30-point lead in some polls over Governor Ron DeSantis. And the Democrats just think that's great because he's the guy that Biden can beat.
They view it as a win-win, right? They feel like it's rallying Republicans to Trump, making him the likelier nominee, at least how it stands right now. And that would be great news to their ears because they feel like they can beat him. Their argument is, well, we just did. We already did. This exact matchup, head-to-head, Joe Biden won. We can do it again. Maybe be careful what you wish for. I think that they were kind of rooting for him, and the media was in 2016, and then he pulled the upset. The counterpoint is the circumstances that allowed Trump to pull the upset and thread the needle don't exist anymore. It's a different political playing field. So Democrats that I speak to increasingly are just openly saying that they want to run against Donald Trump. And I think they do. There's a Politico story that quoted 4 unnamed Democrats saying he's the guy, we want to run against him. We know the playbook. He can't win. 60% of the country hates him. Whether those facts or at least impressions are internalized by Republican voters who decide to go full speed ahead or maybe reconsider it remains to be seen. Let's check in maybe 7 months from now, see how things are looking. But right now, based on what the Democrats say they want, they're on track for it.
You know, Mike Ozanian, I would take the under on that trade because I'd say be careful what you wish for because you've got new issues now. Well, one new issue, the politicalization of the justice system. And I think, you know, what Trump said the other night at Mar-a-Lago, he says, not just about me. He said they could be coming for you. And I think that's a big thing. We had Kayleigh McEnany on the last night actually making that point. That's new. I mean, this whole extremism that what Alvin Bragg and other prosecutors are doing. Plus, I don't think the economy is in such stellar shape. Plus, we don't know if Joe Biden can actually walk to the podium in the debates. But let me ask you, be careful what you wish for? Or is, you know, are these unnamed Democrats unnamed right?
I go with be careful what you wish for. And I say for 2 reasons. I think by far the biggest issue is going to be the economy. I think what you're saying, the politics, the weaponization of the legal system, all true. But I think when Joe Biden ran, most people that voted for him thought he was going to be a moderate, certainly on economics. And he's proven, whether you're talking about what he wants to do with taxes, what he's done with regulation, what he's done with energy, he's been anything but a moderate. He's gone far to the left. Secondly is, I think the economy, the way it's shaping up now, is not going to be in very good shape this year and may not be in 2024 as well, largely because of Biden's policies. And when real wages are going down, as they have been,
22 straight months.
And people are having a harder time putting bread on the table, I think Trump's policies, which gave us a very strong economic boom before he left office, before the pandemic, I think are going to look a lot more appealing.
You know, Liz, I think that look, people may have voted for a moderate Joe Biden in 2024. Okay, I get that, you know, but it turns out it's Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay, and everyone acknowledges that. They didn't vote for Bernie Sanders. Yeah. They voted for a moderate, not a left-wing socialist modern monetary theory. Now, if Trump gets the nomination and or DeSantis, but let's stay with Trump. If Trump does and he has a prosperity agenda, an economic growth agenda, that's got to amount to something. That is new.
Yeah, I mean, let's go back to the old saying about, you know, are you better off than you were 4 years ago?
Right.
And I mean, that says it all. Consumer net worth is going down, real wages are going down, and we could well be in a recession leading up to the election. But I want to go back to what Guy said. Yes, it is true that the Trump conditions that led to his success in 2016 don't exist anymore. neither do the conditions that favor Joe Biden. He cannot hide in his basement during this campaign, right? I mean, he literally was invisible. He didn't have interviews. He made very few public appearances
Joe Biden
because of COVID,
he loves
of
COVID.
course.
Right.
So
I think they might do it again. I think they might try something like a basement campaign again.
My contention is that what they're really excited about with Donald Trump is he takes all the air out of the room, endless headlines between now and the election. And so, in fact, the New York Times had a front page story yesterday which echoed something I'd written saying, basically, the White House is thrilled that their guy is off page one because everything they're doing is going south. Nothing is working for this administration, including foreign policy.
You know, it's like, what was it with McKinley and the Front Porch Campaign? What was it called? McKinley first ran that, and Harding did it too later on.
You sort of hang out and let the other guy talk.
They came
and see what happens.
No, they came. They're right. You were on your front porch. It was McKinley first, and then Harding. And everyone, they bust him in. Now you're calling it the basement campaign. Only they don't bust anybody in. He just stands there in the basement or sits there.
You do it a little bit. And, like, here's the thing. I agree that the economy will be number one. And if we're in a recession, I don't know if any Democrat could survive a presidential election against any of the Republicans running. The only thing I would say about the are you better off question, almost a large majority of the electorate in 2022 would say they are not better off than they were 2 years ago. And yet, independents, you would think, would rush into the open arms of the opposition party, and they didn't. Democrats narrowly won independents in the midterm elections. So the badness of Joe Biden isn't necessarily going to be enough for the Republicans to win.
But it would take away any kind of enthusiasm for Joe. I mean, Joe Biden is not going to have any enthusiasm. The only enthusiasm for his campaign is anti-Trump.
Yep.
Right? Which is why many of us have thought that he was not the best candidate because his negatives are very, very high, and he really gets the other team worked up. So, you know, Ron DeSantis has a much he will face opposition, but at the moment his negatives aren't nearly as bad.
Is anybody driving to Chicago this afternoon? I just wanted to bring that up.
I think it's going the other way, Larry.
Oh, yeah. I mean, really, Chicago used to be such a fabulous place. I mean, when I worked on Wall Street, the firm I was with had a big office in Chicago. I'd go out there 6, 7, 8 times a year. I loved shopping up North Michigan. They had great restaurants. What is going on in Chicago? How could they vote for this left-wing, defund the police, high-tax, hate business numbskull?
The only thing I could think of what seems to happen in cities, and happened in New York City, you know, pre-Rudy Giuliani, is things have to get really, really horrible. I mean, look what's happening in San Francisco, what's happening in Los Angeles. And they still vote for those policies.
Well, they're doing their best to get really bad. I mean, they're really giving it their best shot.
So history has just shown us things have to be horrible. I mean, to flip this around, which is a sad scenario, but to flip it around, if you look at these as microcosms of what the Biden administration wants to do at large for the country, you know, this could actually be good for the Republican Party in getting other people in there that are going to do things to turn the economy around and to make the country safer.
Yeah, did you tell me you're from Chicago? Or you went to school in Chicago?
I went to Northwestern, had a great time. I started my career in Chicago, lived in Chicagoland for about 7 years. I love it. I love Chicago. It's a scarier place than it was when I was there not that long ago. And it is just sad to see this. Of all the things that, there's a list of depressing things about this election result. To me, at the top of the list is this guy, the new mayor-elect, paid agitator for the teachers union. That was his main job for a long time. Paid teachers union agitator. He was in favor of every single school shutdown. He supported the strike when they finally came back. They allowed the kids finally back in school after a year and a half. So much harm done. Then they went on strike. He was all about it. We saw the harm done to kids. And the people of Chicago said, yeah, let's go with that.
Let's go. Yeah, it's awesome. Finally, we got to go. But Liz, we are a business show. Do you have a stock market forecast?
No, but I think tomorrow's jobs number is going to be very pivotal. Yeah, I mean, some economists on the street are saying this is the tipping point. We are finally, this much-awaited, much-heralded recession, which hasn't arrived yet. You know, we're seeing some cracks in the labor market now, and that's what the Fed wants.
Thank you. We have to,
we had to have something.
We need bona fides for a business show. Terrific
Exactly.
stuff. Liz Peek, Mike Ozanian, and Guy Benson. Terrific stuff, by the way. Guy Benson's radio show is especially good today.